This is AJ of Order Militaris Radio TV. Um, I've been we've been following the war very closely with Ukraine and Russia, and not much has changed with the Russian army. So I want to let you hear the words of General Patton to the Secretary of State in his private meetings from his diary. And so this is from 1945. The war is near ending in Germany. And Patton is knowing there's another enemy that needs to be crushed. This comes from May 7th, 1945, after his meeting with the beautiful equestrian school of riding in Austria. It was rather particular to realize that with a world tearing itself apart in war, about 20 middle-aged men in perfect physical condition and about an equal number of grooms had spent their time teaching horses tricks. As much as I like horses, it seems to me there is a place for everything. The secretary was extremely cordial and had a wonderful memory for names and could state where he had formerly met each officer. We had a very pleasant evening, and I found him extremely talkative and a good sense to let him do the talking. Stiller was present. According to his recollections, Patton said to Secretary Patterson, "Mr. Secretary, for God's sake, when you go home, stop this point system. Stop breaking up these armies. Give us an opportunity to keep 30% of our battle-wise troops home, on leave if you wish, etc. Send us replacements and let us start training here, keeping our forces intact. Let us keep our boots polished, bayonets sharpened and present a picture of force and strength to these people, the Russians. This is the only language they understand and respect. If you fail to do this, then I would like to say to you that we have had a victory over the Germans and have disarmed them, but have lost the war." The secretary replied, "Oh, George, you have been so close to this thing for so long. You have lost the sight of the big picture. You don't realize the strength of these people." General Patton said, "Mr. Secretary, it is your privilege to say, 'Oh, George,' if you wish, but for God's sake, listen to what I am trying to tell you." Mr. Patterson said, "What would you have us do, George?" General Patton said, "I would have you keep these armies intact. I would have your State Department or the people in charge tell the people concerned where their border is. Give them a limited time to get back across. Warn them that if they fail to do so, we will push them back across." The secretary said, "You don't realize the strength of these people." General Patton said, "Yes, I have seen them. I understand the situation. The supply system is inadequate to maintain them in a serious action, such as I could put to them. They have chickens in their coops and cattle on the roof. Cattle on the hoof. That's their supply system. They could probably maintain themselves in the type of fighting I could give them for 5 days. After that, it would make no difference how many millions of men they have. And if you wanted Moscow, I could give it to you. They lived on the land coming down. There is insufficient left for them to do. There is insufficient left for them to maintain themselves going back. Let's not give them time to build up their supplies. If we do, then I repeat, we have had a victory over the Germans and disarmed them, We have failed in the liberation of Europe. We have lost the war. There is nothing democratic about war. It is a straight dictatorship. The use of force to attain the end desired. We, the armed forces of the USA, have put our government in the position to dictate the peace. We did not come over here to acquire jurisdiction over either the people or their countries. We came to give them back the right to govern themselves. We must either finish the job now while we are here and ready, or later under less favorable circumstances. And the man who put all these papers together finishes out this section. Even as the war was coming to an end, Patton was forecasting the Cold War of the post-war period. When the books arrive on the Patton papers with his letters and diaries, both volumes, and I'll go through them again and find more tidbits and do another video. My cousin on my mother's side, General Patton, was right. And we were right in talking about his death. He was murdered because he told the truth. He knew the truth, told the truth to the secretary, and it cost him his life. Well, that's the end of this first series of these videos on what General Patton said about the Russians. Order Militaris Video TV signing off. Deus Volt.